You might be thinking, how bad could Diana Taurasi's Olympic performance really be? Let me paint you a picture. 14 minutes on the court, 3 shots taken, 0 made, no points, no rebounds, no assists, nothing. Now you're probably wondering, couldn't Caitlin Clark have done better than that? Let's break it down. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what happened on that court. Picture this, Diana Taurasi, one of the greatest players in women's basketball history, steps onto the Olympic stage against Belgium. The crowd's buzzing with anticipation, but as the game unfolds, something feels off. Taurasi's first shot, it's a miss. No big deal, right? But then her second attempt clangs off the rim, and her third, same story. You're probably thinking, okay, but surely she grabbed some rebounds or dished out some assists? Nope. The stat sheet tells a brutal tale. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists in 14 minutes of play. Now you might be wondering, how bad is this really? Throughout her illustrious career, Taurasi has averaged 19.3 points, 4.0 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game. In previous Olympics, she's been putting up double-digit points and making game-changing plays. This performance, it's like watching a completely different player. But here's where it gets wild. Taurasi didn't just have an off game, she made history in the worst way possible. This is the first time in her entire Olympic career that she's put up a complete goose egg across all major stat categories. Can you believe it? It's like watching Michael Jordan airball every shot in a crucial playoff game, and you better believe people are talking. The internet exploded with reactions. Fans who've idolized Taurasi for years are scratching their heads. Basketball analysts who've sung her praises are suddenly questioning everything. One commentator didn't pull any punches, saying, Diana Taurasi did not deserve a spot on the US roster thus far. She's been a wasted roster spot, contributing virtually nothing in 14+ minutes of play. Ouch, that's gotta sting, but it's not just armchair critics throwing shade. Even die-hard Taurasi supporters are struggling to defend this performance. The questions are flying fast and furious. Is age finally catching up with the 39-year-old legend? Was she dealing with an undisclosed injury? Or is this just a freakishly bad game that anyone could have? But here's where this story takes an even bigger turn. This isn't just about one bad game or one player's reputation. Taurasi's performance has ignited a firestorm of debate about Team USA's entire selection process. People are asking, why was she chosen over younger, informed players? Is the selection committee too focused on past glories instead of current abilities? And you know whose name keeps coming up in these conversations? Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that Caitlin Clark, the college phenom who's been lighting up scoreboards and dropping jaws all season. Suddenly, everyone's wondering, would Clark have made a bigger impact in those crucial 14 minutes? Now, let's talk about the rising star everyone can't stop talking about, Caitlin Clark. While Taurasi struggled on the Olympic stage, Clark was busy setting the basketball world on fire. Have you seen her play? It's like watching a human highlight reel in real time. Clark's not just good, she's redefining what it means to dominate in women's basketball. In her last NCAA season, she averaged in jaw-dropping 31.6 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 8.9 assists per game. That's not just filling up the stat sheet, that's obliterating it. But it's not just about the numbers. When you watch Clark play, you see a player who can do it all. She's got the vision of a point guard, the shooting touch of a sniper, and the tenacity of a veteran. She's the kind of player who makes everyone around her better. Now, you might be wondering, if Clark's so good, why isn't she on the Olympic team? That's the million-dollar question that's got fans and analysts buzzing. Many argue that leaving Clark off the roster was a huge mistake. Think about it. While Taurasi was putting up zeros across the board, Clark was dropping triple doubles like they were going out of style. In one game against Ohio State, she put up 45 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. Can you imagine what she could have done with those 4? But it's not just about one game. Clark's consistently shown she can perform under pressure. Whether it's hitting clutch shots in tight games or making pinpoint passes in crowded lanes, she's proven she's got what it takes to compete at the highest level. So why didn't she make the cut? Some say it's about experience, others argue it's about respecting the veterans. But more and more people are starting to question if those are good enough reasons to leave such a dynamic player off the team. One fan summed it up perfectly. Team USA would have been better off with Caitlin Clark on the roster. It's hard to argue with that when you look at the numbers and the impact Clark's been having. You thought the debate about Caitlin Clark was intense? Well, buckle up, because this roster controversy just got even hotter. It's not just about Clark anymore. Fans are now questioning why other standout players like Chelsea Gray and Brittany Griner were left off the team. Can you imagine the impact these powerhouses could have had on the court? Let's break it down. Chelsea Gray, she's a point guard extraordinaire known for her killer court vision and clutch performances. And Brittany Griner, come on, we're talking about a 6'9" center who can dominate the paint like nobody's business. Both of these players have been tearing it up in the WNBA, leaving fans scratching their heads about why they're watching the Olympics from home. Now, you might be wondering, how does Team USA even decide who makes the cut? Great question. The selection process is like a secret recipe, mixing experience, current form, and team chemistry. But here's where it gets tricky. They seem to put a lot of weight on Olympic experience. It's like they're saying, hey, if you've been here before, you get dibs on a spot. But is that really the best way to build a dream team? Some fans and analysts are starting to think maybe it's time for a change. They're arguing that the selection process is stuck in the past, overlooking fresh talent in favor of familiar faces. And now, don't get me wrong, there are still plenty of people defending the current roster. They'll tell you, look at Team USA's track record. They know what they're doing. And sure, it's hard to argue with success. Team USA has been dominating women's basketball for years, but here's where it gets really interesting. Some critics are saying, no one ever said they wouldn't win without Caitlin Clark. That doesn't make it okay that players who deserve to be on the team are not on the team. Ouch! That's a pretty strong statement, right? So what's the deal? Is Team USA making a mistake by sticking with veterans like Taurasi instead of bringing in new blood? Or is there something to be said for experience and team chemistry? Here's the thing. Roster decisions aren't just about individual talent. They're about building a team that works together like a well-oiled machine. Every player brings something unique to the table, and finding the right mix is crucial. But let's be real. When you see players like Clark, Gray, and Griner lighting it up in their leagues, it's hard not to wonder what they could do on the Olympic stage. Would their raw talent and current hot streaks outweigh the benefits of having seasoned Olympic veterans? And it's not just about the games they're playing right now. Think about the future of USA basketball. Are we missing out on giving the next generation of stars valuable Olympic experience? Could this decision come back to bite us in future tournaments? These are the questions keeping basketball fans up at night. And with each game, as we watch how the current Team USA performs, the debate only gets more intense. Alright, let's talk about what this whole Diana Taurasi situation means for the future of Team USA. You know how one big moment can change everything? Well, this might be that moment for USA basketball. Think about it. Taurasi's performance wasn't just a bad game. It's got everyone questioning how Team USA picks its players. Will they keep relying on veterans, or is it time to shake things up? Here's the thing, Taurasi's been a legend for years, but now people are wondering if past glory is enough to secure a spot on the Olympic team. It's like when your favorite player starts to slow down, and you're not sure if they should still be starting. So what does this mean for future Team USA selections? Well, it could be a game changer. The decision makers might start looking at current form more than Olympic experience. Can you imagine a Team USA where every player is at the top of their game regardless of their past medals? But it's not just about the players. Fans are getting loud about this. They want a say in who represents their country. And you know what? Maybe they're onto something. After all, who knows basketball better than the diehard fans who watch every game? Now picture this, a Team USA selection process that takes fan input into account. It's not just about stats and experience anymore. It's about who the fans believe in, who they want to see on that world stage. Sounds pretty exciting, right? And let's talk about fresh talent. We've got players like Caitlin Clark lighting up the college game. What if Team USA started giving these young stars a real shot at Olympic glory? It could completely change the game. And imagine a Team USA with Caitlin Clark running the point. You've got her incredible court vision, her deadly three-point shot, and that never-say-die attitude. Now pair that with some seasoned veterans who can show her the ropes. That's a team that could dominate for years to come. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about winning games. It's about building a team that represents the best of American basketball, a team that combines experience with fresh energy, a team that gets fans excited and inspires the next generation of players. So how can Team USA learn from this experience? Well, for starters, they could look at creating a more transparent selection process. Let fans see how decisions are made. Show us the stats, the reasoning behind each pick, make us feel like we're part of the process. That they could also consider a hybrid approach. Keep some veteran presence for that crucial Olympic experience, but make room for the rising stars who are changing the game. It's like having the best of both worlds, the wisdom of experience and the fire of youth. And let's not forget about players like Taurasi. Sure, she had a rough game, but her contributions to USA basketball are undeniable. Maybe there's a role for players like her as mentors, helping to shape the next generation of Olympic stars. The key is finding the right balance. You want a team that can win now, but also one that's building for the future. It's like planting a garden. You need to tend to the established plants while also making room for new growth.